Imagine a secret book, hidden for centuries, holding mysteries that could shatter everything you've been taught about God, creation, and the reality you live in. What if the world as you know it isn't just imperfect, but an intentional trap, built by a dark force that thrives on our ignorance? This ancient text, known as the Secret Book of John, tells of an extraordinary battle, one beyond good and evil, a cosmic struggle designed to keep humanity in the dark about its true potential. Buried over 1,600 years ago, and only rediscovered in the Egyptian desert in 1945, this book was considered too dangerous for the mainstream. Why? Because it reveals hidden powers within us, powers we've been conditioned to forget. This extraordinary text was part of the Nag Hammadi collection, ancient writings stashed away as if they carried forbidden knowledge. The Secret Book of John paints a vastly different picture of existence, an eternal, unknowable source, called the One, whose energy pervades everything. Unlike any god depicted in mainstream religion, this one isn't a bearded figure seated on a throne. Instead, it's described as a boundless, incomprehensible consciousness, an endless sea of light holding everything and nothing within it. The Gnostics, the keepers of this hidden wisdom, reveal that from this boundless light sprang Sophia, the force of wisdom itself. But what happened next was a cosmic deviation with far-reaching consequences. Driven by curiosity, Sophia tried to create without permission from the One, disrupting the delicate balance of unity. The Gnostics describe this as a universal misstep, a fall in the purest sense of the word. Out of this action emerged Yaldabaoth, a flawed entity who became the self-proclaimed ruler of the material world, a world designed as a veil to blind us to our divine origin. This world, our world, is portrayed as an illusion, a construct meant to keep us ensnared in darkness. While many religious teachings present a clear divide between good and evil, the Gnostics saw it differently. They believed that this flawed creation wasn't merely evil, but was part of a cosmic struggle between illusion and awakening, darkness and light. The concept of duality runs like an invisible thread through every experience we encounter. In the same way that night inevitably follows day, ignorance stands in opposition to knowledge, creating a tension that drives the human experience. Material concerns frequently cloud spiritual truths, masking the underlying reality that the Gnostics believed to be our true origin. Yet within each of us, the Gnostics taught, there exists a spark of the One, a small but powerful fragment of the original divine light. This spark is our connection to something vast and boundless, an eternal essence hidden deep within our core. However, they cautioned that this divine spark lies dormant, concealed beneath layers of worldly distractions and limitations. As long as we remain focused on the external world, confined by its demands and illusions, the essence of this inner light remains almost undetectable. Gnostic teachings suggest that many of the conventional structures of the world, including mainstream religious practices, tend to emphasize the worship of an external deity, directing attention outward rather than inward. This emphasis, they believed, sidesteps the profound truth that true awakening and divine connection arise from within. To the Gnostics, every person has the potential to recognize their divine origin, but doing so requires a departure from accepted norms. It means venturing beyond the visible world and challenging surface-level beliefs to reveal the essence beneath. The journey of discovery involves peeling back layers of illusions that Yaldabaoth and his creations have carefully constructed to keep humanity bound to a shallow reality. Recognizing this divine spark, they argued, isn't simply an act of personal growth. It's a radical step toward reclaiming our connection to the infinite, a connection that mainstream thought has often dismissed or ignored. This ancient reminder urges us to move beyond the surface of what we know, inviting us to embark on a path of self-discovery that transcends the limits of the material world. So, what would it mean to awaken? To awaken, according to the secret book of John, isn't simply to gain knowledge, it's about achieving gnosis. This term, far from being mere intellectual understanding, refers to a profound inner realization that allows one to penetrate the illusions of the physical world and witness the true nature of reality. Gnosis is like lifting a veil that has obscured the universe's true essence, revealing not only a cosmic truth, but also an incredible, often terrifying power within oneself. This awakening is not about understanding obscure knowledge or hidden texts. It's about recognizing a divine power that lies within every soul. According to the Gnostics, each person carries a spark of this divine essence, an indestructible light deeply connected to the ultimate source, the One. Yet, in our everyday lives, this inner power remains dormant, hidden beneath layers of illusions crafted to keep us in a state of ignorance. This state of not knowing, they taught, is precisely what keeps us spiritually imprisoned. The secret book of John portrays Yaldabaoth, the ruler of this material realm, as the orchestrator of these illusions, a sort of spiritual jailer. He is more than just a figure of darkness. He is depicted as a cunning puppet master who manipulates the shadows around us to obscure the truth of our divine origin. His goal isn't just to control, but to prevent us from discovering this inner light, keeping us bound to the cycles of material existence. Through his rule, humanity becomes entrapped in an intricate maze of desires, routines, and limitations that distract from a deeper awareness of self. Imagine, as the Gnostics would, living every day with blinders on, unable to see beyond the distractions of daily life, sensory pleasures, and physical limitations. These blinders prevent us from seeing the interconnectedness of our spirit with the divine source, the One. We may feel like free beings, but according to the secret book of John, we're actually captives in a prison of false reality, engineered by Yaldabaoth to blind us from understanding our true purpose and potential. To them, this illusion wasn't just a philosophical notion. It was a tangible and constant experience of the human condition, a veil that must be lifted for anyone truly seeking freedom. Breaking free from these constraints isn't easy. It requires inner courage, a willingness to question everything we perceive, and an unshakable commitment to seeking the light within. This is the journey the Gnostics call for, a radical shift in perception that challenges us to cast off the illusions imposed by Yaldabaoth's world and step into the reality of our divine potential. And if you're ready to unlock life-changing secrets that could transform your wealth effortlessly, check the link in the comments below. Discover the shocking wealth methods revealed by a rogue NASA scientist, secrets that millions have used to shift their lives entirely. Don't miss out on this chance to learn what so many others are already using to attract abundance. Now, let's dive back into the exploration. For the Gnostics, understanding this entrapment was the first step toward liberation. And liberation wasn't merely a rejection of physical comforts or earthly desires. It was a profound inner journey to align with the One, the Source. This journey challenges us to see the world differently, to resist the pull of daily distractions, routines, and superficial attractions. The material world was, in their view, a prison that chains us with attachments and desires, preventing us from reaching enlightenment. But they held on to the belief that we each possess a divine spark, a piece of light capable of piercing through the darkness. But why did mainstream society consider these teachings so dangerous? The Gnostics challenged the status quo, teaching that liberation lies in personal insight rather than blind obedience. They questioned institutional structures, suggesting that external authorities might deliberately keep us spiritually bound. By emphasizing personal awakening over external worship, they were labeled heretics, rebels against a world order that relied on conformity and control. The Gnostics proposed that spiritual awakening requires courage to question accepted norms, to delve into oneself, and to recognize that true power lies within. The teachings delve into a provocative metaphor depicting Yaldabaoth as a king who seized power unjustly, hiding his flawed origin to secure control over a realm he claimed as his own. This is no ordinary tale of a ruler. It's an incisive commentary on the structures of power that keep people spiritually ignorant and dependent. The Gnostics saw Yaldabaoth not just as an individual entity, but as the embodiment of these systems that quietly, yet firmly, shape human consciousness. Just as Yaldabaoth sought to deceive the souls of humanity into believing he was the ultimate source of authority, so too did many earthly powers aim to reinforce a worldview where obedience and unquestioned faith overshadowed personal enlightenment and self-realization. Yaldabaoth's rule symbolized a false sovereignty, a dominion that masked its flawed and selfish origins by promoting the idea of inevitability, of a reality that must be accepted as it is. In this context, human suffering, limitations, and ignorance were presented as unavoidable aspects of life, rather than states to be questioned or transcended. The Gnostics interpreted these power structures as direct obstacles to inner awakening. They taught that as long as people were enmeshed in societal and religious demands for conformity and obedience, their true potential would remain suppressed. Against this backdrop, Sophia's rebellion is seen as a beacon of defiance and courage, an unauthorized act that disrupted the cosmic order. Her creation of Yaldabaoth without permission represented a profound yearning to break free from set boundaries, a mirror to the human spirit's innate desire to resist imposed limitations. Though Sophia's actions were seen as flawed, they symbolized the human drive to create, question, and challenge the structures that keep us confined. To the Gnostics, this narrative was a potent reminder that the act of defiance, even if imperfect, was essential in the quest to awaken and claim one's true self. This theme of tension between control and defiance isn't limited to the ancient Gnostic texts. It reverberates throughout human history. From ancient revolts against oppressive kings to modern movements that seek justice, truth, and freedom, the struggle against unjust authority has been a constant. The Gnostics viewed their teachings as both a spiritual guide and a commentary on these universal battles. They believed that this perpetual cycle of control and defiance was not just a human struggle, but a cosmic one, echoing the very fabric of existence. In Gnostic philosophy, this struggle for liberation is not without consequence. Their texts come with a sobering warning. Those who defy established power, who resist the norms and challenge the status quo, often face severe backlash. Yet they held that this path, fraught as it may be, was the only path to true enlightenment. To them, complacency with life's accepted order was akin to spiritual sleep, a state in which individuals are lulled into passivity and distraction. Real freedom, they taught, begins with the recognition that the powers governing this world, whether social, religious, or political, might not operate with humanity's best interests at heart. The Gnostics called on seekers to reclaim their power by questioning the forces that shaped their reality. Liberation, in their view, wasn't a reward bestowed upon the obedient, but a revelation granted to those brave enough to question authority and explore their own consciousness. This message, timeless and audacious, encouraged individuals to go beyond the visible structures of power and tap into their own inner light, trusting that this was the truest path to transcend the darkness imposed by Yaldabaoth and his world of illusions. Liberation is the choice to step out of the shadows, to question, to look beyond the superficial. Yaldabaoth's creation, the material world, is a place of limitations filled with rules and boundaries to keep us from seeing the light within. This world distracts, entices, and ensnares us, and as long as we stay captivated by it, we're prevented from seeing our true origin. The Gnostic's path invites us to undertake a deeper exploration of our minds, to reach an understanding beyond what we can see, touch, or hear. It's a journey to unveil the divine reality underlying all that we know. Central to their teachings is the symbol of the One, or the monad, which signifies the original source, a pure and boundless energy from which everything emanates. Imagine the sun, radiating light to all corners of existence. This is how the Gnostics viewed the One. Within this limitless light, they said, everything is connected. And within each of us lies a spark of this primal energy, dimmed but not extinguished by Yaldabaoth's illusionary reality. Sophia, the cosmic creator, symbolizes the divine urge to reach beyond the boundaries of pure unity, a force of wisdom and curiosity. Her decision to create without alignment led to Yaldabaoth, an embodiment of ignorance that distorts knowledge. Yet in this very act, she planted the seeds of defiance, a reminder that even flawed creation holds the potential for awakening. Light, to the Gnostics, represented this awakening, a state of awareness that dispels illusions. They taught that light was more than a physical phenomenon. It was an inner enlightenment, an understanding of our true connection to the Source. The Gnostics invite us to look beyond the surface of our physical world, encouraging us to recognize the hidden frameworks designed to keep us spiritually confined. They saw life not merely as a string of experiences and challenges, but as a sacred journey, a journey meant to lead us back to our divine origins, to the remembrance of our true light. Embracing this path, in their view, is an act of liberation, a way to transcend Yaldabaoth's realm of deception and reclaim our identity as fragments of a higher, boundless reality. If you find yourself resonating with these teachings, if you feel that inner call to see beyond the surface of things, then consider subscribing and joining this journey of discovery. Together, we can awaken to a greater truth, peeling back the layers of illusion to reveal the true, infinite light within. Let us take this journey side by side, reaching back to the origins of our divine selves.